Hi, everybody. Welcome. I was in class this last week, and my students wanted to talk about things you do not hear. Things that college students assume that are true, that are not, or life lessons you don't really know. So today's video is all about these lessons. What what do I wish I could teach every freshman, and what do I wish my kids knew as a freshman, and what do I wish I knew when I was a freshman in college? So that is what we are doing today. These real life lessons are going to be disturbing for some people, and they're going to be controversial. If you disagree with me, please comment in the comment section. If you like the video, like it. If you dislike the video, dislike it. Tell me what your problem is. I'm always interested in other people's feedback. So let's start with the hard truth. And I'm sorry if this offends some of you. A job offered is not stapled to most college degrees. I was out buying a camera recently, and I came across a student who had recently graduated from a local college with a degree in online creative marketing. And this person works making a little bit above minimum wage, but as a sales rep at a camera shop. The reality is many students have to finance their college degrees with student loans. They get out of college. There aren't employers just sitting there begging you to take you as their employee. And then you have student loan debt or car payments, or you need to move out on your own into the next transition of life. And you're basically faced with the reality that you need to earn money and you have to take whatever job you can find. A lot of my students assume, especially as college freshmen, that by the time they graduate, the job offer is stapled to your degree, and this is just not true. Hard truth number 2. After you graduate and you start applying for jobs, every single person who is competing with you for the job you want has the exact same degree you have. Some may be from better universities, some may be from worse universities. But if you are counting on your degree alone, which you will work very hard to get, to earn your job, you are gambling. You might get lucky, but you might not. I'm sorry. Hard truth number 3. Many college advisors are often, but not always, there are some exceptions to this rule. But in general, they're focused on helping you graduate with your degree, but in general, they are not helping you get your job. And let's really be honest about the point of a college degree for a minute. You are going to college not for the wonderful parties and the football and drinking and social experiences, although that comes along. In the end, the point of the degree is the job. If you do not get a job at the end, then there's a problem. So whenever you're relying on your very well-intentioned, and many of them are very nice college advisors, please understand the advice they are giving you is based on getting you to your degree. But if you're going to get the job at the end, you have to make up some of the difference. Now, I'm sorry for these truths. There's a lot in them, but I do have ways to help. This video is the first part of a series to help you make the transition. These are things that I advised my advisees and that I wish every college student could do to help you succeed after college. So let's do number 1. How do you win? How do you beat the game? Number 1, you have to stand out from every job applicant. everybody else who's applying for your job. You have to be better than them. And you, more importantly, you have to prove you're better than them. Now, there's a lot of steps to this. Later on I have more ideas. The specific ways things you can do to help you do this. But I want you to understand just having the degree is not enough. So we have to enable you to have more than just that degree. So you stand out, so that you succeed, so that you apply and you get your job at the end. Number 2, if we're really honest about it, the most reliable way and the most successful way to land a job after college is with an internship. Now, some of you who are high school students that may be watching this, when you go to visit a college, and when you're thinking about a college major, go up to the advisors or the recruitment person for that department. Don't do it for the entire university. Go to the department and ask, how many of their graduates actually have internships before they graduate? And ask them, what steps do they take to help their students find internships? The reality is, the internship is the most predictable way, especially if you're successful in your internship, to get your job after college. However, some colleges will just say, oh, we have an internship office, and then rely on you to find that internship. Other colleges, and some of the better colleges, have predictable relationships with businesses, government agencies, nonprofit organizations, etc., that constantly recruit their graduates and are looking for interns from that program or university. If you can, find a university or a college that offers internships that have the existing pipelines. Now, it's not a deal breaker, but I'll tell you, you'll be far more successful with an internship than without it. Do not dismiss it. When you sit down with your college advisor, especially in your freshman year, you need to be planning for an internship in your program of study. You need to figure out how you're going to do it before you graduate. It is critical, and I would honestly say it's mission critical at this stage. Third thing you need to figure out, especially as a college freshman. As a college freshman, myself included, many change majors, many start off in college thinking they want to do one thing and change their mind. That's okay. Figuring out what you want to do, and more importantly, what you don't want to do, is all part of this process. You have to figure this out. And the sooner you figure it out, the more time and money you will have, the better off you will be. So do not be afraid of failure. Do not be afraid of difficulty. Do not be afraid of challenges. It is par for the course. So we're about to transition into some practical, pragmatic tips. Things that I would have my advisees do in order to help them succeed. Please take these as strong suggestions. If you do nothing else, write them down in your notebook, and the next time you meet with your college advisor, ask them about these. Are these good ideas? Are they not? I know you already have enough on your plate. You have your college classes, you've got to secure your funding. For some of you need college funding, and that might mean scholarship applications. Others of you have extracurricular activities. You've got a lot going on. But you have to have one eye on the future and figure out how you're going to win in the end. So let's get down to some pragmatic things. What would I do? What do I recommend my students to do? More importantly, what do I recommend my children do in order to succeed in this time? Number 1, as a college freshman, start your job search now. But wait a minute. I'm not graduating for 2, 3, 4, maybe 6 years or more. Why am I starting the job search now? You are going to get essential critical information in starting your job search in your first year of college that will pay off huge for you in this process. Usually, when I had a freshman come in for advising, I would give them a couple weeks in the fall term, and I would recommend that they come back in a couple weeks with 5 jobs they were interested in applying if they had graduated right now and they were on the job market, those 5 jobs, and to bring me back 5 jobs. You can do more, but usually at 5 jobs, you're going to get enough of a sample that it's not going to waste your time. Number 2, you need to take the job ads and you need to make a list of every skill, the required skills, the desired skills, everything that those jobs want. And I mean everything. If they want Microsoft Word, if they want Microsoft Excel, if they need public speaking, if they need a language, whatever it is, make sure every single requirement is listed on this list of skills. And some of these skills, you will notice, are going to be required by more than one job. Make sure you highlight those that are required, especially if they're required by all 5. Then sit down and go match these skills with a class and a professor. Now, you may need your college advisor to help you with this. Now, matching some skills with the class. Okay, great. I need Microsoft Excel. I need to take a Microsoft Excel class in college. Okay, fine. Not a problem. But the professor can be critical. I used to teach a statistical analysis course. And each professor in teaching this particular class, you're going to learn basic skills, statistical analysis, etc. But you needed to do a big report and you needed to use a software package. And you may like me as your advisor or as a professor, but if I'm not teaching you the computer software you need to get the job you want, then you need to find where you're going to get it. Now, maybe you take an additional class in a different subject and you get it there. Or maybe you need to take the class with a different professor. Now, the intent here is very simple. When you go to apply for your job at the end, you have your degree, and you're now on the job market. You want to match every single skill with a recommendation from a professor or somebody who is an authority in the subject. So the classes that you identify in this process, those are the classes that every term you're going to earn an A in, you're going to do whatever you have to do, you're going to go to office hours, you are going to die in that ditch. Whatever that is, you are going to do it because you want that letter of recommendation at the end that says, yes, you not only do you have your degree, but you have a vouch for that skill from that professor. You got me? Now, let's have an honest conversation for a moment and be fairly blunt. Not all professors will write letters of recommendation, and honestly, some professors are not nice, and you just don't get on with them, and it doesn't work. It's okay. Some of these skills, you can use an industry certification, like the aforementioned Microsoft Excel. There is a test you can take to be certified in Excel by Microsoft, and that will effectively nullify missing a letter of recommendation. But you need to plan for it now, and you need to be thinking about where you're going to get each and every skills in your program of study, because you can get to your degree without having the skills you need for your job. And that's one of the saddest truths in many college programs. So work with your advisor, match the skills with a class in your program of study. The sooner you do this, if you are a college sophomore or junior, it's not too late to do this, but realize you have less time to pick up classes. The sooner you do this, the sooner you can match the classes to your skills. Now, as a freshman, whenever you get a skills class and you earn your A and your mark in that skills class. Keep up with that professor. Let that professor know at the beginning that you're really interested in this and you really want to learn this and you're hoping to earn their recommendation before you start the class. Attend every class. Do everything you have to do to earn that grade and keep up with them. As you're a sophomore, as you're a junior, as you're a senior, every term, send them an email. Hey, thank you for your class. Just want to let you know I still really appreciate your class. I use the skills I learned in your class and this other thing, etc. Keep that relationship hot. Do not forget it. I personally like to send Christmas cards to those professors. It's a nice touch. They usually don't get them. And it says that you're conscientious. But keep those relationships warm, because in the end, what you are looking for is the letter of recommendation that that vouches for the skill, so that when you are competing for your job, somebody has the degree, but they don't have every single skill matched with letters of recommendation and with people who can vouch for them. That's how you stand apart. Number 3, in your job search, when you get these jobs, now I recommend using a board, and this might date me. There's monster.com, there's Indeed, there's all kinds of job search sites. Whenever you find a position, if it's not naming the company, just move on. It's okay. But if they do name the company, go to that company's website and look at the job information on the company's website, not on their advert on Monster or Indeed or the others. In that job posting, they will often have contact information, either for a hiring manager or for a human resources person. And this is one of the most powerful things you need to understand. Your college email, particularly in the United States, your .edu email, is an amazingly powerful tool. It will open doors for you that will normally remain shut. What you do is you email the people in the job interview or call them, and you very politely say, I'm a college freshman, I attend this university, I saw your job post. I am interested in learning more about your company and potentially working for you when I graduate. And what you are wanting to ask them is for, first and foremost, a job shadow. Now, a job shadow is where you take a day and you go with somebody and you stand with them while they do their job and you talk with them. Now, for law enforcement, this takes the form of a ride along with police officers. Some of you may have been remember Take Your Child to Work Day, where maybe your parents took you to work and you got to see that. It's the same idea, but you get to see exactly what they're doing in their job. And this is critical because you need to figure out, could you see yourself doing that job for maybe not the rest of your life, but for a good chunk of your career? And if it's something you really don't want to do, learning that during your freshman year is really, really critical, because it saves you years of study for a job that you thought you wanted, but you really didn't. Classic example is I have a lot of students who want to be video game developers. And some of them got shadows with video game developers, and they said, yeah, by the way, we're all contractors, and vast majority of the video game developers, once their game is done, they end up being fired and effectively out of a job, and then they have to go job search a lot. Well, that's critical to know early on. Maybe that's the life you want, maybe it's not, but there are some companies that keep video game developers and keep developers of games all the time, but there's not a ton of them. There's a lot fewer than you would think. A job shadow is going to help you figure out, is this what you really want or is it not? And also, the second thing you want to do is get information about internships with that company. Again, you need to be starting to figure out your internship database now. We're going to talk more about this in the videos for sophomores and juniors when the internships become more prevalent. But even as a freshman, when you email them not from your google.com or your video game account. Email them from your .edu account. Tell them you're a freshman at the university. Tell them you're interested in the company. And a lot of times you can even say in there, hey, I'm interested in your company because I've used your products forever, or I really respect this company, or my grandparents used to work there, or you have a great reputation. Tell them why you're interested in working at that company. That sometimes can help. But make sure you are contacting the company. Ask for the job shadow. The information of who to contact is in that job application that you are looking for. Please like the video if you like it, dislike the video if you dislike it, whatever you do. Leave a comment. Tell me did you do this? Did it work for you? Did it not work for you? What were the strong points? What would you add to other job seekers? I try to comment on reply to the comments. I don't always get to all of them, but understand I appreciate your comments. And please subscribe to the channel. I will keep adding these. Sometimes you'll find humorous content on my channel. I like posting the absurdities I find in everyday life as I travel and as I move around. But regardless, thank you for your time. If you've made it all the way here, I appreciate you investing your time with me. Hope you have a wonderful